He joins us now in studio. Mr. Reshef, thank you for being with us tonight. Mr. Reshef, as you know, for weeks now, we've been discussing what the coronavirus might do to the global financial markets. But today, it seems we saw a dramatic and strong reaction. Why today, and where do you see this going?
Well, I don't know precisely about today, but it came with a big delay. And I guess it's because it took the American investors time to realize that it's something which is relevant to them. It started like a Chinese issue. It started like a virus eruption, reminding them something about the SARS and about the MERS, expecting it to be something of the same kind. Then it started expanding, but to neighboring countries of China. Only when it hit, and hit hard Italy and started spreading around in the Western world, they realized that it's effective, and they started to flee from the market.
And on the issue, of course, of oil, as we saw in that report, the biggest drop today since 1991, the Gulf War. Now, over the years, we've seen oil oscillate, coming up, coming down, of course, also impacted by wars in the Middle East. Is this a really concerning drop in your view, or are we likely to see a high jump also within days?
It's a result. When you expect a slowdown in economy, slowdown means less consumption of oil, which means less demand, and the prices are going down. When the markets will start to see results of the fight against the virus and the expectations of returning to normal economy will be in the news, we will see the rise in the petrol prices.
And as we continue to look at China, Mr. Reshef, of course, it's been praised for its containment efforts, and it's being hit also economically. Can other countries learn from how China is coping with this crisis?
Well, this is a very complicated question, and the answer is it depends. Because China has taken some measures that can be done only in non-democratic country, in country that does not respect human rights the same way as in the West, and where the population is most disciplinary than in Italy, for instance, or in Israel also. So there are some things that this general closure of tens of millions of people, it's impossible in the West. However, the West can take other measures. They have to learn from the Chinese experience, maybe not in closure, but in other areas of activity, such as the medical treatment. The Chinese have taken many medical measures, trying many different medicines, and the results should be learned in order to go further with that. But I think we can already see in Europe, the governments, instead of putting tens of millions of people in closure, we do see it in Lombardy, in north of Italy, but in other places, they prefer to do mass checking of many people instead of putting them in isolation.
And over the weekend, Mr. Reshef, there was talk that the Israeli government might offer some relief, maybe a loan for local businesses who are suffering because of the outbreak. Is that a step in the right direction for the government, or what else should it do?
It is a must, in a matter of fact, because many Israelis are losing their income, those who depend on incoming tourism, outgoing tourism, export of products, export of services, import. So many areas of activity, of economical activity are harmed, but what is going down? And then we are entering into the domino effect, which means certain businesses are getting hurt. They stop purchasing from other businesses, services and the like, and then it starts spreading, and then you see the collapse. So you have to stop it by pumping money, allowing the businesses to survive, because when you lower the purchase of services and products, this is one problem. But when you go bankrupt, and then you've got a loss of debts to other businesses, including banks, and then it might even bring the whole country, the economy of all of Israel, into a general collapse. And the only way to stop it is by pumping money. So
globally, would you say it would be fair to say the situation might get a little worse before it gets better?
I'm afraid, excuse me for that, but to be pessimistic, it is not going to be a little bit worse. It's going to be severely worse. We are seeing only the tip of the iceberg. It has only now started to affect Germany, France, UK, United States, Canada, it only now started to touch them. So the moment that we will see a general eruption in those countries, like we've seen in Italy, the results will be even deeper.
All right, Tal Reshef, shedding light for us on the economic aspect of this crisis. Thank you, Tal Reshef, for joining us tonight.